what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a simple framework for your diet that is very easy. It doesn't require you to do a bunch of calculations. It doesn't require you to count calories or anything like that. It is a very simple framework for your diet. Hey, everybody. Guess what? I've got some great news for you today, and that is that you can eat whatever you want. That's right, I said it. You can eat whatever you want. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean, so I want you to sit tight and just give me a little bit of your time. This is Mark Johnson, your fitness ambassador from Bounce Pep and the youngest son of Bill Johnson. So, I know that you probably hear from a lot of gurus out there that you cannot eat this, don't eat that, don't do this, this is banned, that's off limits. Now, I don't do that. The reason I don't do that is because you are an adult, presumably. I may have some children watching, but presumably you are a grown man or a grown woman. And I know that you are going to do and eat exactly what you want to do. Okay? I understand that. So I don't feel that I have the authority to tell you what you cannot do or to tell you don't do this. Ultimately, it is your choice. With that said, understand that when I say that you can eat whatever you want, there are some caveats to that, okay? So, the good thing about when you work with Bounce Pep, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a simple framework for your diet that is very easy. It doesn't require you to do a bunch of calculations. It doesn't require you to count calories or anything like that. It is a very simple framework for your diet. And the very first thing that I want you to do for your diet, okay, the framework starts here. You have to delineate what are supposed to be occasional treats from dietary staples, okay? And this is a big problem where people really fail in terms of their dietary habits. They are consuming what should be occasional treats essentially as staples of their diet. They're consuming them all the time, frequently, several times a week, okay? So the first thing that I want you to understand is that you have to delineate. You have to put things in a certain box, okay? These are occasional treats. These are staples of my diet, okay? Occasional treats, generally speaking, are, not the best for your health, okay? So I never say that you can't eat those things or don't eat them, never eat them, okay? Because quite frankly, I like to have treats too sometimes. I mean, so who am I to tell you that you can't do something or, don't do it? No. We all like to have treats sometimes. What I'm asking you to do, respectfully, is put them in the box where they belong. Occasional treats, okay? The other box is dietary staples. These are things that are good for your health. They're going to help you to live. You're eating these things to live, okay? These things over here, you're not really eating them to live because that's not what they're helping you to do, okay? So, delineate. Now, as I mentioned before, a lot of people have palates that favor a lot of grease and a lot of sugar and a lot of salt, and all of that stuff in excess is just not good for you. A lot of people, when they go into the grocery store, they head straight for the center of the grocery store. They go inside those aisles where you've got all that ultra processed food. Now, there is not a strict definition of ultra processed foods that everybody agrees on, but In general, you kind of know it when you see it. Things that are packaged in boxes that really look nothing like the original ingredients that they're based off of. Things that you cannot possibly prepare at home by yourself. Okay, these are things that really have to be produced by some industrial process. They're going to have chemical additives, artificial flavors, a bunch of ingredients that you cannot pronounce, you don't understand what they are, okay? So you have seen these things at the grocery store. The grocery store is full of them. Those are ultra processed foods. You have to understand that in the process of making those foods at the factory, they're breaking down the molecular structure of the original food, for instance, if it's some kind of corn or some other grain or something like that, they've got to break down the molecular structure. So by the time you eat it, it's not really corn in the true sense anymore. You have an edible concoction. That's what you have. And it's stripped of its nutrients, its natural nutrients. Now, a lot of these companies, they'll go back and try to add some nutrients in, they'll fortify it. And nice effort, but it ain't the same as getting the nutrients from the whole food, from the actual grain itself, for instance. If that's corn or wheat or whatever it is, it's not the same. Okay. Fortification is not the same as getting it from the source. Okay, so let's not be confused about that. So what I've recommended before and what I hope you are doing is when you go into the grocery store, stay to the periphery of the grocery store as much as possible, because it's on the periphery where you're going to find the fresh whole foods. Okay, this is where you're going to find ingredients, raw ingredients that you can purchase, put inside your basket, purchase it, take it home, prepare a meal with real unprocessed ingredients. Okay. Now, so delineate once again between what should be occasional treats. So all those cookies and crackers and snacks and everything that you buy that is pre-prepared or produced in some factory, those should be occasional treats. Occasional. Okay? These are not things that you should be eating every day, all the time, and certainly not several times a day. So you have to put them in the correct box. I'm not saying you can't eat them. You can eat whatever you want. Okay? But it should be occasionally. Okay? The whole foods, those should be staples of your diet. Those should be things that you're eating all the time. Hopefully, you have a habit of making a salad several times per week with your own bare hands. Go get some ingredients. Okay? You can get very versatile with a salad, but go get some raw ingredients from the grocery store. Make a salad. Make a big salad. Make something, go to town with it. Okay? Get those nutrients, get those ingredients into your diet as staple parts of your diet. Okay, so these are things that you're eating on a regular basis. Okay, so next thing I want to tell you is that I have a very simple framework for kind of managing your diet, and it's very, very easy. You don't have to do a lot of calculating. You don't have to do any calculating, really. You just have to be mindful. Okay. So again, always remember, you can eat whatever you want to. However, there are 6 things I want you to do. Okay. Okay. Number 1, buy fresh, raw food from the grocery store, as I just explained, and prepare meals in your own kitchen. Okay. Buy fresh, raw ingredients and prepare meals in your own kitchen. You need to be doing that on a regular basis. If you're not doing it yourself, have somebody else do it. But the idea is fresh, raw ingredients prepared by you or somebody else on a regular basis inside somebody's kitchen, okay? Number 2, just drink more water. Drink more water and cut down on the artificially sweetened drinks. Soda pop, fruit juices, those things are occasional treats. You have to put them in that box, occasional treats. If you have a can of soda once or twice a week, that's not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna beat you up over that. Your body can handle that. You know, let's just say for argument's sake, you have 3 meals a day, that's 21 meals per week, okay? If you have a can of soda twice per week, you know, that's not going to kill you. Now, if you're drinking soda every day, and especially if you're drinking soda or, you know, really sweet juice several times a day, okay, now you've taken what should be an occasional treat and you've put it inside the box of a dietary staple, and that is what I recommend that you avoid. You don't want to do that. Okay, so again, you can have those treats. Just be mindful. It shouldn't be all the time, every day. Number 3, add more fiber. So the simplest way to add more fiber into your diet is to go buy fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes. They have plenty of fiber, okay? Fiber is really, really good for your gut health, okay? So it's going to help to reduce inflammation that you feel in your gut. Fiber also helps your stool. It adds some mass to your stool. And it does a lot of things for your body. It's really, really beneficial for your nutrition. So add more fiber into your diet. Fruits, vegetables, beans, and whatnot. Get that fiber in there, okay? Number 4, stop eating so much fried food. Now, I didn't say stop eating fried food, period. I just said stop eating so much of it. Fried food should be an occasional treat. So look, I understand frying food is relatively simple, relatively quick. A lot of people, again, have palates that, you know, really, really love fried food because they grew up with it. But I want you to make an effort to moderate that. When you have a lot of fried foods in your diet, you know, you tend to put on a lot of weight, and you know, you're gonna be a lot less healthy. You're gonna have health consequences if you've got fried food over here in the dietary staples box. You're eating fried food several times per week or even several times per day. And there are people who eat fried food every day. That is dangerous. It should not be over here in a dietary staples box. That should be over here in the occasional treats box, okay? So let me tell you what I do when it comes to fried food. I try to limit fried food to no more than 2 times per week. That's just me personally. I don't want to eat anything fried more than twice per week. Why? Because I know that, you know, my body can that's twice per week is not gonna kill me. If we're assuming 3 meals per day, that's 21 meals per week, and you know, something in 2 of those meals happens to be fried, that's not going to kill me. Okay? Because most of my diet is not based on fried foods. It's based on healthy foods, nutritious foods. Okay. So I keep it where it belongs, an occasional treat. Number 5, you have to remember that alcohol is toxic to your body. Your body recognizes alcohol as poison. Okay, so you can have some alcohol, but I highly recommend that you moderate it. And certainly that you don't make it a habit to just drink alcohol all the time. Moderate it. Keep it in its proper place. It's a treat that you have sometimes. If you are guzzling alcohol all the time, you're poisoning yourself all the time. Enough said about that. Number 6, I'm just going to reiterate this. Cut down on all of the sweet and salty snacks that you find at the grocery store. Now, I kind of included that in the first one, which was to just eat fresh, raw food. But I'm really going to break that out into the 6th kind of maxim that I'm recommending to you here. So, cut down on the amount of sweet and salty snacks that you are consuming. It's not that hard to do. Frankly, you can replace that stuff with fruit and you'll be just as satisfied and you'll be much healthier for it. So those are the 6 things that you can do, okay? I want you to buy fresh, raw food and then prepare meals in your own kitchen. I want you to drink more water, okay? And the reverse side of that is to reduce the amount of sweetened drinks that you are consuming. Number 3, I want you to add more fiber to your diet. Number 4, please stop eating everything fried that you can get your hands on. It's no good for you. Number 5, remember that alcohol is toxic, so you want to moderate your intake of alcohol. And number 6, moderate your consumption of sweet and salty snacks. Those are the 6 things, okay? So none of this is extreme. You can do it. Again, I'm not telling you you can't eat something. What I'm telling you is put things in their proper place, okay? Understand what should be occasional treats, understand what should be dietary staples, and then you moderate your behavior. Now, the last point I want to make about this, which I've alluded to, is proportions and frequency. That's what we need to focus on here. Proportions and frequency. So that's the whole idea behind occasional treats versus dietary staples. Proportions and frequency. So you don't want to have occasional treats as a huge part of your diet that you're eating all the time. So the proportion is huge and then the frequency is just out of this world. You're just eating it way too often, okay? You don't want to do that. You want to moderate that. So you want to shrink the proportions, reduce the frequency that you're eating those types of things. On the other hand, for your dietary staples, you want to increase the proportions and increase the frequency at which you eat those things, okay? So remember, proportions and frequency. So that is a complete basic breakdown of the way that we manage diet at Bounce Pep. And again, I just want to deliver the good news to you again. You can eat whatever you want. You just have to be mindful, be intentional, have intent, okay? Be purposeful when you eat. So I want you to take that with you. If you need to replay this video a couple times just to hear it back, remember those 6 things, do so. And I will really, really appreciate it if you heard something in this video that was of some benefit to you. Go ahead and subscribe. Every once in a while, I just might say something that makes some sense to you, that you say, I never thought about that, but that guy, he's making some sense, and maybe that'll help me. So go ahead and subscribe. Love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll talk to you next time.